Bonjour, y'all. My name is Brita, and today on Witches Unite, I'm doing something a little different. With the help of two of my friends, I am opening up about living with a chronic illness and how that affects my ability to play geolocation games like Pokemon Go and Harry Potter Wizards Unite. For those of you who don't already know, I have a condition called Crohn's disease. I was diagnosed over 20 years ago when I was just 8 years old. Crohn's disease is an autoimmune disease that results in inflammation along the digestive system. Mine is located in my ileum. Practically speaking, this means that I have spent the last 20 plus years on various medications. I anticipate spending the rest of my life on medication. And I deal with symptoms like vomiting, diarrhea, stomach cramps, severe stomach pain, low appetite, low weight, anemia has been a problem in the past, and recently, at least this past year, I have been dealing with a lot of fatigue. All of these have been some of my symptoms of Crohn's disease. Any patient with Crohn's disease will have different symptoms. We're not all alike, but these are my particular struggles.
Hi, I'm Professor Lynette from WizardPhD. I have lupus, which is an autoimmune disease, and my body tends to attack itself whenever it has flares. And so that can be triggered by things like the sun, excessive stress, standing a lot, basically a lot of other triggers that I'm learning. I was recently diagnosed, so I'm still learning how to be a person with lupus and live in my new body.
Hey, my name is Dan. I'm from the channel Go Shiny Hunter and a YouTuber. I am in House Gryffindor. I have a ton of diagnoses: chronic Epstein-Barr virus, chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, and new one, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. It's like main array of those things is basically like everything in your body is just thrown off whack. Like you don't heal well. You have chronic pain because your nerves think that they're sending a signal to your brain saying your leg's in pain. If you do a scan of your leg, it's absolutely fine, but your nerves are telling your body that you're in pain. Kind of problems with any balancing of like your blood sugar levels, your breathing rate, your heart rate, and that causes a lot of cognitive symptoms of confusion, memory problems, difficulty problem solving, and concentration can be really bad, which is why when I got on the plane to Indiana, I left my suitcase on the plane and just walked off. But luckily they still kept, they held on to it, and it was in the baggage claim.
It doesn't take too much imagination to realize exactly how Crohn's disease affects my ability to play geolocation games like Wizards Unite. A big one is that I need fairly close access to a public restroom. Unfortunately, I never really know when my body is going to give me problems, and urgency can be an issue with Crohn's disease. So when I am out playing Wizards Unite, I need to be somewhere with a restroom. Fatigue is obviously a big problem. This week alone, I've been sleeping my typical like 10 to 10 and a half hours each night, but I've also been napping during the day, which is more unusual for me. Yesterday, I took a 3-hour nap after getting 10 and a half hours of sleep the night before. And with that kind of fatigue, it's just not possible to go out and play a game that requires walking every single day, especially combined with the fact that I'm a rural player. I have to first drive 10 minutes to get to Sawney Mountain, and then if I want to reach the second inn in the greenhouse, you know, it's a 5-minute hike if I hustle and a 10-minute if I'm, you know, stopping to trace things. And on a day that I'm really tired, I just can't do that. Like, I physically cannot handle that.
Playing Wizards Unite is literally one of my favorite things to do. So part of the challenge is to be able to listen to my body and what it needs. It's a walking game when I'm trying to do distance-based activities, which is fine, but taking lots of breaks is what I've learned how to do. I have to stay out of the sun, in the shade. I have protective gear, hats, sunscreen. I have a special little jacket that blocks UV rays that's been very helpful for avoiding the sun flares. And just in general, resting a lot, not grinding the whole day and feeling bad that I can't sit out or need to sit down for a second. People are really understanding about it too. So the best advice that I have is just listening to your body and being honest with the people around you, which can be tough because you have to do it all the time if you're meeting new people, but it's a manageable activity to do, and it actually helps me stay active rather than staying in bed whenever I do feel down when I'm dealing with my illness itself. So it is manageable, and finding other people. I found so many people just by talking about my condition on my channel who also have chronic illnesses, and there are a lot of us out there who are managing this every day, so it's good to just talk to each other and have that community of support.
So games like Wizards Unite, it massively impacts my ability to play it in the style that I would like to. So I would love to be able to go out on long walks and do what we did today every day, which is, you know, go from different section to section, get the benefits from all the nests and clock loads of kilometers through doing that. But realistically, that's not something I can do, because if I did that, I would be pushing myself and I would eventually crash, and it would take a long time for me to recover. So the ways I get around that are by things like bus rides, driving around in car to a specific location, maybe where there's 3 stops, building up my energy. And the fortress battle makes it really good. So the added addition with that in Wizards Unite means that I can just sit at a fortress, still play the game, and not have to engage in a lot of activity. But still, like, if my hands get fatigued, it does affect my ability to do repetitive actions. So like spell casting can be quite repetitive and cause fatigue in my fingers. So sometimes you just do have to take breaks with it.
But yeah, my biggest advice is to listen to your body and to develop a support system. You know, and this isn't just about a game, it's really about life. I could not do what I do as a content creator, as a volunteer for Kappa Kappa Gamma, as a person with a chronic illness who needs a lot of sleep, who gets in-home medical treatments every 4 weeks. I couldn't do all of this without the support of my husband. Dan is always there for me, and he's always understanding and compassionate when I'm not feeling well and plans need a change. My family has always been there for me. I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease as a child, and they have been really supportive during the years, even though it hasn't been easy on any of us.
So it's all about expectations of what, you know, how high I set my expectations of what I should be doing. And it used to be that I would be like, my expectations were really high. This is outside of the YouTube channel, just in work, and I would push myself, and that doesn't work with any of these kind of like most long-term conditions. It doesn't work. You've got to say, right, I'm only going to do these things in the day, and I'm not going to push myself. If you are going to push yourself, you need to prepare for it. Like Wizards Unite, the Fan Festival, I've literally been pacing for the past 2 weeks. So, you know, at work, so I'm a cognitive behavioral therapist, so I'll see a patient for an hour and then I'll have a break for an hour, patient an hour, and then so really take advantage of my breaks, and having a lot of support as well. So my wife is amazing and takes a lot of strain off by looking after, taking up my responsibilities when I'm on a bad day, which is trying to take it back when I can, but those things are massively important.
If you have a chronic illness or a disability or some other health issue that prevents you from being able to play geolocation games at the most maximum energy level, that's okay. You are not alone, and you're not less of a Harry Potter fan or less of a dedicated player just because you are balancing your health needs with playing a game. Y'all, I love Wizards Unite, but it's a game. My life is more important. My health is more important. And that is true for you as well. So if you have any physical issue that means you have to think more carefully about how you play Wizards Unite, I'm here for you. Listen to your body. Don't push yourself more than you can handle. Let the other players in your group know that you need to take a break, or you need to sit by a fortress and do wizarding challenges for a while.
Find, if you have an aid, something that can help you to get around. So this weekend we had scooters around Indianapolis. That means I didn't have to walk to locations. It meant I could get on that and I could still stop and play if I really wanted to. And that's just one kind of tool. I have a crutch and people are in wheelchairs. So I saw Wandering and she has her wheelchair which helps her to get around areas. And don't try and be normal and try to push yourself when you know that you might need an aid. Sometimes people can find it embarrassing sometimes to have a crutch. Just don't be. It's an absolutely fine thing for you to have if you've got a chronic illness. Don't fear having those things out in public.
People are really supportive for the most part and understanding if you just explain that you have certain challenges and you need accommodations to play the game. Now, I'm not saying that those accommodations should include spoofing, just so we're clear. I don't spoof. I don't cheat.
And also just massively pace yourself. Don't try to complete a game really quickly. Just enjoy it and, try and limit yourself too. So I tend to limit myself outside of this weekend. It's just playing for 2 hours and then stop, or I might play for 15 minutes at a time, go home, watch something, go out again. So really pace yourself on what you're doing, and that will help you to be able to play it, but in a way that also takes care of your illness. Bye.
I am incredibly grateful to my friends Lynette of WizardPhD and Dan of Go Shiny Hunter for opening up about their experiences with chronic illness and how they balance that with a game like Wizards Unite. If you are a healthy, able-bodied person, just be supportive of those of us who are not. Be understanding when we say that we don't have the energy to do something. Don't give us grief because we can't do dinner on a weeknight or play Wizards Unite at 9 o'clock at night. Luckily, like I said, I think so far everyone's been really supportive. I haven't had any issues with people being upset because I need breaks or I can't play every day or whatever. So I'm certainly appreciative of how great the Wizards Unite community has been so far. I know that today's video was different than what I usually do, so I really, really appreciate you watching it and hopefully learning something. Whether you have a chronic illness or you just want to be an ally to those of us who have a chronic illness, I hope that this video encouraged you or inspired you in some way. Thank you one more time to Lynette and Dan. You can find their channels in the description down below. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, au revoir, witches.
Location, I'm from Scotland. Born in the Highlands, where I was given haggis as a child. Do you know what haggis is? No. Nice. You don't want to know. I'm not. I'm from England.
Doesn't sound
It's way better. It isn't. Everything bad that you wouldn't want.